Here we are. Here we are. I'm going to try to do something different this week on my end, not your end, but I'm going to try to actually record this as well. I pray to God we don't drop any frames. Um, so if it starts getting a little weird, I may have to turn the recording off, but I'm in OBS and I'm like streaming and recording. Started a minute early here, so let me just see if this is all working. I hope it is. Should be, right? Why wouldn't it be? Um, yeah, I think it's good. Cool. That'll be nice because I haven't been recording these ones locally, and like one of the beautiful parts of this whole setup is that it looks so much better now. And if I could record locally while streaming, that's pretty sick. I mean, I could record it into the camera, but I never do that. Anywho, not what you're here for. Appreciate it if you're here live or on the replay. So last week, here's what I want to talk about this week. And if you have any questions, thoughts, or whatever, throw them in the chat. And maybe we get some people in here. We can do some different polls and stuff like that. But here's what I want to talk about this week. So I have been last week, this is a little bit of a continuation on that. The one from last week was I talked extensively about like clients. What was the name of it? It was like clients think they can build anything with AI now. So why would they pay you? Now, I thought about that long and hard. I obviously had a lot of conversations, we talked a lot about it last week. And then this week I had a couple different things that came up that I wanted to just kind of share with my findings, because I do feel like these live streams are kind of like, I mean, I do the stuff on the second channel, but that's way more like raw and like random. Like I still want this to be like directionally about business, AI, and everything that's going on here. So I feel like my hypothesis, I'm going to start with this hypothesis, right? The hypothesis is that most people that watch me currently on this channel are kind of going through these same things, and that's why I'm making this content right now in a lot of ways, right? So I think that one of those things is that, you see a video like that and there's probably some sort of reaction, or a live stream like that or whatever, and there's probably some sort of reaction, and it's something like, oh, okay, well, I need to figure out how to deal with this as well. And to combine on that hypothesis, I truly believe that from the conversations that I've had during live streams and with other people that I would call like, we'll get into like the verbiage, because I think that I'm trying to mentally bucket like a lot of this, but other people that I would call like builders, I would say, right? Like other builders that are building for either just themselves, or more so like even like maybe even service providers is a better idea, because I think a lot of my clientele is like service providers, like they're either web designers or they're marketers or what have you. I think, and maybe that's you, I think that my hypothesis is that I'm dealing with people out in the real world, my connections, my clients or whatever, that are picking this whole thing up like faster than most, because I've gotten that feedback. Like I've told 3 stories now, or I'll tell a third one today or whatever, about people that are business owners that are just doing more shit for themselves with AI and need less of a digital marketing partner, or whatever we want to call ourselves. And I think that I'm at the forefront of that in a sense. So I'm kind of like, I see myself as literally the person that's in the field sometimes, like figuring all this stuff out, talking to these different people, and then relaying that back to you. So hopefully you don't have to, like, you can prepare for it a little bit before you start having to have those actual conversations. That's one way that I kind of see it, because I really do feel like I was talking like last week, these agency owners, or no, these business owners, they're like developing, like a lot of them are developing real personal agency, because AI has totally changed the way that they realize they can do business. So I'll tell you a story today. That's one of the things I want to do. I want to tell you a story about a guy that I have known since high school, and we just we connect once in a while, and I had like an hour and a half long chat with him locally here at a coffee shop this week. And that was really enlightening. It wasn't really like a sales situation. I do think there's a lot of value, obviously, that can provide to a lot of different people, and especially, somebody in his situation. But I'll tell you I want to show you kind of like a little graphic that after I have these conversations, I kind of feed stuff back into Claude to kind of synthesize a lot of it. And it put together like a nice little archetype for like an offer matrix, or, it's kind of just understanding it. And I think most of this will be applicable to you. I think it's a little, I'll be candid, some of it is different because I talk to probably more, again, I'm generalizing, but like I talk to more builders slash peers than I feel like most people that watch my content do, right? Like you know, maybe you deal with other people, obviously, like your, subcontractors or just friends or whatever, they're doing the same thing. But like, I mean, just again, candidly in my position, like I've put out this content. So like the people that I've attracted with this content are mostly other agency owners or freelancers or people that are building for other people, right? But that's not really who you're probably looking to attract and not probably who you're trying to have conversation is most likely because you want to make money doing the stuff, right? So I'm trying to not like obviously not equate the two, but I'm also trying to like be holistic with like kind of what I'm doing and then kind of relay the parts that are maybe pertinent to your position, your situation. So I want to tell you about all that. And just checking my notes here. Yeah, I mean, but like again, the last question was like I'm looking directly into my teleprompter to look at these notes. That's why it looks like I'm staring into your soul. So I want to talk to you about the client story. I want to talk to you about the like building anything, like why if they could build anything now, like why would they pay you? Again, a little bit, and obviously any questions that you guys have specifically when we go over all of these different things. So yeah, but I mean, again, I've had these conversations. I threw an offer together. I can kind of show you some of the direction that I have there. I mean, I'll tee that one up real quick too. Is I have had more sales conversations in the past 4 months than I have had probably in the last like few years, just because I relied heavily on like referral, and then I was pivot, I've deviated and I was like just learning about WordPress and doing random shit, and I didn't even have an offer at that point. So from a personal standpoint, I have tried to sell more actively in the last 4 months than I have in a very long time. And it's been good. It's trended. But I've realized now that like you still need a lot of volume. You still need to learn a lot about who you're trying to sell to and try to sell directly more to an audience. I had actually a couple other good conversations since the last live stream here too. The idea of niching down into like an industry, I've gotten that obviously a couple times. That has literally never, ever, ever like appealed to me whatsoever. I just feel like that like it makes sense, but not in the realm of what I do, because I just want to talk about all this stuff like more broadly on a like a YouTube basis. But I mean, this would be my first question to you, if you're out there listening, would be, I mean, it's a couple questions. I mean, like, do you have a niche? Would be one. Do you think that you have a niche, regardless? And then where are you getting your leads from? Like, do you get your leads from ads, content, purely referral, what have you there? Because I think referral is obviously kind of for everyone. Like generally, if you do good work, somebody's going to refer you eventually. But like, does anyone in this space have like a solid structure for getting new leads other than just like a pipeline of referrals? I've honestly like barely ever heard of a good of any like, we'll say like solo person slash like freelancer slash small agency. I've never heard of anything other than just like literally like networking at the most. It's like networking and referral. And that's fine. I'm not saying you should never have that, but just to me, it's like that seems like so like I want like I want a lever that I could kind of pull. And in my case, I do think the content here has actually led to some level of like leads in that way. So maybe you could consider doing that, but it's just such a long play, and I've been at it for a while, and like it starts to ramp up over time. But yeah, I don't want to go down the whole rabbit hole. I just wanted to pose those questions for now. So yeah, let me take a look at the chat here real quick. Let me take a look at my notes, and we'll dive into some more of these things, and I'll show you some stuff. Look at this little thing. Yo, what's up? The Gatu Meow. I don't know how to, but thank you. Finally catching your live. Love your vids, honest takes, and sharing thoughts. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Fat J, yo, so how's it going? Your client's still doing more AI because most people I know are barely can use ChatGPT to make an email. Yeah, I mean, I guess I already teed that up a little bit. I think that for better or worse, like maybe I'm just involved with like the most fucking like the people that I deal with are just like the most curious people ever. I don't know. I mean, like I said, I had another conversation with not a direct client, but somebody that I've like pitched to in the past and somebody I've known for a very long time, and I'll tell that story. Uh, Built a website in 6 hours, deployed it to Cloudflare. It's on GitHub. I mean, so I don't know. All I'm saying is like we can, we can go back and forth on this. But I mean, I'm not lying. Like I can't show you. I don't really feel like I can show you those websites because I didn't ask for permission. So that's a little unfortunate. Um, Although I did film yesterday's office hours in Modern Builder Society. I did film it and I did show it in there because that's kind of like more of a paid situation, like kind of more of a black box there. But like I don't know. I'm not saying it's indicative of everyone. I'm just saying that like here I'll spit the thesis here, right? And you guys can tell me why I'm wrong. The what I see right now in the world is, and where I like personally, and then where I'm extrapolating, maybe incorrectly potentially, but I think directionally it's got to be accurate, is all I'm saying, let's boil it down. A few years ago, you had to worry about Wix and Squarespace. What was the lift to make a good Wix or Squarespace website? I mean, they had to sign up, pay a couple bucks a month, and they had to drag shit around and do like shit like that. Maybe they, start with a template and they edit some stuff. It's like, okay, great. That's not incredibly hard, but it's not like incredibly easy either, right? Like, I mean, it takes time, it takes effort. These people now, this is fucking cheaper because it's ultimately cheaper because the subscriptions, you can use them for all sorts of other stuff too, right? So now this stuff is cheaper. This most recent example was with Perplexity, actually, which is, go figure. Every fucking they're like finding random different places. I've heard Manus, I've heard Claude, I've heard Perplexity, like building websites. Like obviously it's just HTML at the end of the day, but it's still like everybody's using everything. So, but these people now, the lift is literally type into a chat box that I want a website and you will get a website in a couple prompts. Like, so all I'm saying is that I don't see a world where this doesn't become more prevalent. It's way easier than Wix. It's way easier than Squarespace. Even if those platforms ended up putting AI like heavily into their systems, which I don't understand how they're not going to go out of business if they don't. It's way easier. I'm not saying, and I'll show you this in a second, like the different archetypes. I'm not saying that everyone's going to be doing that, but I am saying that it's easier now, therefore more people will. And therefore, like it's more to combat against, because the other thing that I'm having now is like, I'm putting these offers out in front of people, and what's harder? What's harder is they're at least my clients, they're leaning deeper, and rightfully so, they're leaning deeper into the ROI conversation and the qualifications. Like, they're like, I literally had this, like, I don't doubt what you're able to do, but I need to be like certain that effectively what they were saying is like, I need to be certain that the things that you're doing, like I couldn't just do myself or something like that. Or like, if I could do myself would take me a lot more time and energy and knowledge to do. And I'm not saying I'm like the absolute, I don't know, I don't want to say I'm the best salesman in the world. I'm not. And I don't want to say I'm like I don't have this all necessarily figured out. I'm obviously navigating in real time, but I'm reporting because I feel like I'm a step ahead of people as far as like dealing. I don't know why. I maybe, whoever, God, whoever just chose me to deal with people that are already ahead of the game in this AI shit. And I need to figure out where you guys get your clients, where these people are just like, here, take my money because I'm never going to look at AI. But I just don't think I do think the people that I'm dealing with are going to become more prevalent. So that's why I'm trying to share this with you. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's where I'm at there. Let's look at a couple more chats here and then we'll show some of this stuff. With the cost of AI, don't you think it's cheaper, time times cost plus maintenance for business owners than hiring a dev? I think I'm reading that right. Don't you think it's cheaper for business owners than hiring a dev? I think it's 100% cheaper. Like it's absolutely, like I'm 100% if I'm understanding what you're saying correctly. At least right now. I mean, again, people say, the costs will go up and stuff like that. Real concern, but I just think that like most people right now, it's like the position that I'm in is I want to make as much money as I can now. And when I say that, I'm not trying to, I don't know a better way to describe that. That sounds a little shitty, but like, I want to capitalize on this opportunity right now and be kind of ahead so that when when if these prices do stop being subsidized and everything like that, then like at least we've made some money, so now we can utilize the thing. Seriously, think about this. Actually, this is a really important point. I don't know who I was talking to. I think I was talking to one of these conversations this week, and I was like, if these prices go up, then the reality is like then it might actually turn back in our favor, because if the prices go up before enough like business owners can understand the value of it, then they might not see the ROI because they haven't experienced it, and then the pendulum might kind of start to swing back. I'm saying it hasn't fully swung in their direction. I mean, like it has, they just don't realize it. But if it swings back towards us and the prices go up, it actually could somehow, via this logic, be better for people that actually understand. Because it's like, okay, now price wise, ROI wise, we know that if we have to end up paying $1,000 a month for this shit, at least we can price that into our business, and then we can utilize the AI, whatever. Maybe some business owners, instead of it being 200, or 20 or $200 a month, they don't want to make that investment, so they'd rather invest in a person. I think that's an option. I don't personally see like the world. I don't really know if the world will go that way. I think it's just going to continue to get more and more automated, and people will eventually see it over time, regardless of the price. So I think that these companies kind of hold all the cards in their hand, because it's all just like a fucking wheel of money going back and forth like this, and they will not let that fail. And if it does fail, we have way larger problems than that. Like it's probably catastrophe type shit. And I'm not a person that worries about that stuff, because I can't control that at all. And I just have that, you got to be reactive to that type of thing. The only thing you can worry about is the stuff that you see right in front of your eyes. And what I see in front of my eyes is people fucking not wanting to pay me because they could do their own thing. And I want to also like dig into that a little bit. It's not just that they don't want to pay me. That's not it. It's because I'm not showing them enough value, because I'm trying to navigate this and kind of, I have to literally rework the whole business. I don't know. Again, maybe you haven't explored this yet. I just want to explain something to you. I literally cannot sell them the website that I would have sold them a year ago. It's not possible. They will not buy that. The value is not there. They built it in less than, I've had one guy said he built it in like a day. Another one said 6 hours. Another one said 2 hours. I mean, they're not, I'm not saying they're fantastic websites. Please do not, go back to the idea of like, I'm saying, oh, it's going to take our jobs. I'm saying that we have to change, and maybe you don't have to change yet because you haven't had these conversations. Totally fine, whatever. But like I am, so like that's why I talk about this literally like every week and all the time now, because it's what's happening, and I feel again like I'm a couple steps ahead in having to deal with this. Okay, so that's that. Hey, Kashev, what's up? What's up? Thank you for being here. Do you think 80% of agency work would be done by the client themselves? I mean, like moving forward and kind of in that realm. Maybe this is a good question to kind of like start to talk about some of this next stuff here. Let me see if I can transition this to here. This is something just real quick to go off of that question there. This is something that it's not a website. It's nothing. It's like the way that you have to think about like AI a lot of times, if you ever deal with this, is like the easiest way for like AI to take what you want to do, like Claude, for instance. I put a bunch of like a big context dump in there. And I was talking about these different things that I'm dealing with and all that sort of stuff, and my business model. So this might look a little different than yours, but I put a bunch of this stuff in here, and I was like trying to synthesize all of these people and like basically be like, why am I running up against this? How am I going to provide value to these people that have been empowered by AI? And like, where are they? And like, how do I mentally bucket them a little bit better? So the question there of like, do I think 70 to 80% of people are going to be able to do the agency work? Here's the reality of the situation, regardless of whether you guys think it's true or not. And I'm happy to obviously have the conversation and go back and forth. But here's what I really do believe is the reality. The reality is that the answer is yes. Like they could. Doesn't mean they will. The answer is they absolutely could. The question really becomes, though, if you think about it, like you can talk to a business owner and you're like, what if you talk to a business owner and you think like, okay, hey business owner, if I told you right now that you could use AI to, handle your whole business, what would you say? And it's like, it does still have to come down to like a sophisticated business owner, because like this is like kind of the next phase of a couple of these stories that I'm telling you here. One of the business owners, the first one that I made that Claude video about, they are already telling me now, like I put my new offer, which I'll kind of go through and show you it because I need to be like more, I can't be so custom with these offers because there's no reason to, because like you take so much time to write custom offers and it's just a mess. You need to be more specific about it and just kind of almost productize it in a way. But I'll come back to that. This business owner already, the one that built the website, that it's solid, built it, I made that video, so now he's no longer on the WordPress thing. And he came back to me, he's like, he said in, you know, in our conversations when I was showing them this, he's like, I'm paraphrasing. He's something like, I can already see how powerful the AI is. However, it can be really distracting because this is the arc. I should actually maybe somebody's already done this, but I should like draw this out and kind of like think about this arc. Fuck, can I do this on, I could do this on like Excalidraw, couldn't I? Hang on a second. I got to show my bookmark bar, or I could just type in Excalidraw, or I could just say it, Excalibur, son of a bitch. It doesn't work with Excel. It doesn't work with weird words. So this was for my other thing. How do I move this bitch? Hand. There we go. Let's go over here. So anyway, I don't know actually what I'm drawing here, and I don't have a pen like cool guys yet. But here's kind of the concept, right? Is something like there's got to be like an arc or like a timeline, and I don't know if really an arc works, but like there's some sort of timeline here where like, you know, the first thing, like, you know, you don't know anything about AI over here. So like no AI knowledge. Yeah, this is terrible. I don't know how people do this. I don't know how people do this. I could do a thing like this, but like right here, no AI knowledge. Okay, that's way better. All right, hang on, let's try this real quick. With that. This is a really great tool, honestly. So not that. This. Boom. Okay, so like no AI knowledge. That's like the first thing, right? And then the next thing is they go to, let me see if I can duplicate that and then come in here and go like this and be like, so the next thing is like, understand AI, feel empowered. They come in here, right? And then the next one is they go over here and they start to feel, this is the one that I'm seeing them now. It's like complete overwhelm, too many things that they can do, get distracted. So I don't know if we can, I don't know how to, all right, we're not going to waste time on that. But the point is that that's kind of what it is. I know that's small and my head's covering it, but that's kind of the idea there is this is at least part of the arc so far. Okay. Me as your guinea pig out here in the field with some of this stuff, right? This is actually what's happening. Now, I think though, it's actually probably more like this. Okay. Is my working hypothesis right now is this is partially what might happen. The Back to the Future, like little, you know, timeline separates over here, right? There could be a world because I've already seen this. This is where this is where these people make a decision right here. And it's like, this is where certain business owners, okay, if they're, I don't know, it's probably, obviously this is too generalized, but like, it's like, if they're sophisticated, then they realize that this right here is a real concern this is a detriment to their business. They cannot get distracted. They cannot use this stuff. They can only use this stuff to realistically, if you were thinking about AI, like you want to use it to help the things that you're doing in a sense, right? But down here, you know, these people would be like, realize they don't know everything, lean into delegation or something like that, right? And in this case, okay, you can't say this because of my head. There we go. Maybe something like that. In this case, why am I doing that? I could just put my fucking face on the left-hand side. Like in this case, it's like, this is where this decision point ends up happening. And again, I'm literally in real time, like filtering people through this right now and kind of like watching what happens, because I have so many people that get right here and I'm trying to see what is the determining factor that happens here. Okay. And this is just something I just, you know, spun up real quick. So that's kind of not a great example, but here's kind of the next part of that, right? So in my mind, again, some of this will apply to you, some of this won't, but I do think you're going to have to deal with this regardless of what happens. like you're probably going to have to end up dealing. I'm sure you've already had to deal with some of this. Let's work backwards because I think that this is probably the one that you're going to have to deal with maybe the least potentially. Well, actually, you guys tell me in the chat. Tell me in the chat because I don't want to assume you guys, you're right here. Of like if you took the last, 10, 20 leads that you got, where do they fall in a bucket like this? Do they fall into like people that are building things for themselves? You're probably not going to deal with a lot of people, I would imagine, that are like trying to come to you and like learn stuff about what you do, so to speak. I could be overgeneralizing there, but I just don't think that's the case. If you're not trying to put the content out and like do the stuff that I'm doing, like on both sides of it, then obviously that's probably not the archetype that you attract. But like in this case though, have you found any of these people? Have any of these people come across your desk yet so far that are just like they're 6 hours into Cursor, they're high on dopamine and they're in that realm? Because those ones are like in a way, they're valuable because they're the people that like if you know more than them, you could absolutely help them. But it's like, how are you going to help them? It's like they hold the world's power in their hands, so to speak, and they feel so invigorated. But it's like, how do you like what do you tell them? It's like they feel like they know everything. Maybe they're not, maybe they, even if they admit that they don't know everything, because a rational person would, it's like still now like you have to almost teach them how to do AI. And maybe that's not something that you want to do, right? Like maybe that's like it's probably something that I should consider, but it's probably not something you want to do. So let's go past that for a second. So then we have operator. And this is the person that like tries to do this. I bet you guys have had to deal with this. I almost like guarantee maybe you guys have had to deal with something like this where they've tried to do things on their own. Maybe they've been doing their things on their own, but now they need some sort of help. Now, I don't think your offers are going to be the same. Obviously, if you're not trying to have a community and advisory calls and all this sort of shit, but like this is still an archetype that's at least relatively similar, I would have to assume, to somebody that you've talked to in the past, right? So it's like, now how do you handle this situation? Because this is different than the builder, right? This person has like tried and had some level of success, but now maybe they built their first website or something or whatever. And I want to stop talking about the fucking websites, man, because I really, really think that staying in the website only game is not good long term. I just think if I already have people building it for themselves, more people are going to build it for themselves, get to that level, and then there needs to be more ROI specifically. But these people are kind of like in that realm where they've tried and maybe it's worked or whatever, but they need more help. They need something else. So that's another one. Now, this one though, this is the one where like maybe this person has messed with AI. Maybe they've worked with something, maybe they built something, maybe whatever, but this is the person that like you kind of, I feel like we're all ideally kind of targeting the person that has dealt with all this stuff. And I know these are recurring motifs, right? This has happened before, but it's just like now I feel like it's just at a new level. And this is one that I've talked to very, very recently from that Claude video, had a lead come through that didn't want to do anything, wanted to keep the team small, literally wanted to hire a one-person situation, which is another topic, if you're interested, I could talk about, because I think that I am not interested at all in like scaling an agency. I'm only interested in now being like a solo operator that works under an agency name for the service stuff. But I'm just, my employees are going to be AI. It's me and AI. That's what you're hiring. You're hiring my expertise and my orchestration of AI. That's what it is. And that's going to be enough for a lot of people. It was enough for somebody to consider like paying me thousands of dollars a month to do that. And the trouble becomes there is that, at least for me, when you get to this level of, potentially like retainer deals at this magnitude, which I'm sure a lot of you have already done. When you get to this level though, is that now you're like, if you become an embedded operator into their thing, some of these business owners, you got to be careful. Some of these business owners are going to treat you like an employee, which is not what you are. So a little bit of an aside there, but that's kind of this, combined with this thing, is kind of like where I'm filtering, where I'm thinking right now. And just trying to read the signs, like for, I built this in a weekend for the DIY, or I started building, but whatever, or DFY. It's like, I don't have the time for this. Can you just handle it? Like, that's obviously where we're trying to play. All I'm saying is I'm getting a lot of these other ones. You know what I mean? Like I'm getting, especially this one. Like, I don't know what it is about me. I guess I just attract people that, which is good, right? But like, if I'm going to be here, which maybe this isn't where you want to be, so I don't want to go too deep on this. Like, it's like there's got to be a different type of offer and a different type of structure for this type of stuff, because it's not you're not going to be able to sell to all these people the same way. And this is totally it's a totally different conversation when you try to bring in like industry and all this other stuff, right? So yeah. All right, let's go to some of these comments. I could tell you 90% of people at best can use ChatGPT for emails. 90% of people at best. Are we saying can't? Was that supposed to say can't? Or was that supposed to say can? I run Pro Services website. What's up, Marcus? How are we doing? I run Pro Services website builds at Bluehost, and we had our first, I made this unlovable. Can you turn this into a WP site last week? Yeah. Yeah, it's a fun one. I would actually be interested to dive into that, to be honest. Like, what was there, like, if I was in your position, Marcus, and maybe you did this, is like, the first fucking question I would ask is why you want this in WordPress. I'm not shitting on WordPress with that. I'm just saying, like, you have this in Lovable. You have this able to do this. Is it because I could hypothesize on a lot of different things. The hosting part of this actually is not complicated. And in some cases is cheaper when you're dealing with certain things. Like Vercel makes this unbelievably easier. Unbelievably easy. That app that I put up that I was playing around with the thing for my client, they wanted something and I built it for them. Like that type of thing is not actually that complex to stand up and everything. And I mean, again, I don't know how many times I have to say this, and I feel bad saying it because it's so simple. Like, just ask Claude or insert LLM how to do something. I'm not saying it's going to give you a perfect answer, but let's be intellectually honest. It is trained and it can search information. If you ask it how to do something now, it's probably going to tell you at least a very, very directionally accurate way to do something. So the thing is, like, for me, and maybe this is slightly off topic, so I don't want to go deep, but for me, the most, I tweeted this the other day, the best thing that I could do is just keep showing people how I utilize the tools, how I think with the tools. And all I'm doing is, like, I'm having a little bit of an idea, whatever, and then I'm just asking the thing, this is what I want to do. This is what I know. Tell me, like, compare some different things, synthesize some information, analyze these different things, and then push me in, like, the right direction, or let's move in the right direction, and we can obviously move from there. There's a million decisions that you can make as you're building a website or an app or whatever, some sort of workflow. You're going to have input, obviously. It's like the thing isn't necessarily going to do everything for you, but I just think that's one of the most important things. It's like, I got to stop projecting like this. I don't know why clients don't just ask these fucking tools to do stuff, but apparently I am one of the people that is dealing with this the most. Like, and maybe that's a differentiator for me right now. It's like, again, talking to you guys, sounds like a lot of you think clients don't know what they're doing, and God bless if your clients don't know what they're doing. But the people that I talk to, I'm trying to have way more conversations. Every single one of them. Oh yeah, we use AI all the time. Yeah, we use it to build a website. Again, not saying it's great. I'm just saying the fact that they know that it's possible and they can actually utilize it, kind of scary, because it sounds like that's not the same experience as you guys, which is very interesting. So I know that was a little bit of a tangent from the Lovable thing, but again, if like a client builds it in Lovable, like what's the problem? Like, seriously, I want to bring this comment back up for another second. Maybe you answered it down here. Actually, let me jump to this real quick. I got the YWP question in this case. They wanted our ongoing WP updates and SEO services, so it needed to be on WP for us to continue to support. Okay, well, that obviously makes sense in that regard. What I would say, though, is just like, it's interesting to me that, I mean, I guess this is a common problem in like all business and all sales, but it's like, if the client or the person, the customer in this sense, like doesn't understand what, like the reality is, it's so difficult. And I'm battling 17 different things at once when I think about this. I'm not saying they couldn't do that. And I'm not saying that service is valuable, but it's like, the fact is they built it somewhere else and then they wanted you to pull it into WP because of those services, when in reality, they probably could do that type of thing also with AI, or at least AI assisted. Now, is it going to be as good as the service you offer, Marcus? I'm sure it's not, right? But the idea is that we have this weird, it's like, it's created this weird perspective and worldview on all of this now because it can actually do so much. Certain people tell you it can't, but realistically, it can. So for people like us, like we can actually really make it. We have so much leverage in this conversation, but still, again, I'm running into people that slightly they don't downplay it, but they're just like they're in this. What was the thing the guy said to me today or the other day? He was like, I was basically kind of like prodding a little bit to be like, is what kind of value do you see right now with your new? Because I mean, again, 6 hours and Cursor built this website, and I'm like, what exactly do you feel like right now is the problem? You know, like I'm asking, like, do you have any problems? He's like, well, no, the website's up and it works and whatever. It's like from that angle, like there's not really a problem. Now, obviously, you could throw this back at me. It's like I should tell them a problem, but I like to ask first. Okay, I like to see if like is there any like low hanging fruit that like they feel like they have a problem, something that they're hurdling. As a business owner, I have fucking a million problems. I'll tell you every one of my problems. You know what I mean? Like so I like to ask them that first. And basically the answer was regarding the AI stuff and marketing in general. In it, it's like they said they were in the like the learning phase, the education phase, and they saw it as they see the money that they're spending for it and everything like that purely as like an education investment. And then I asked specifically about the time, right? Because I went that angle and I was like, hey, what about the time though, right? Because like you're a business owner. Well, this guy actually has a job and then he's also a business owner. And I'm like, you have like so much time, right? We all have so much time. And you're spending your time learning this stuff. And you're spending your time doing things while learning. It's kind of like paid learning in a way, not getting paid from somebody else. But you got to think about it, right? If you're a business owner and you feel like you need to learn this stuff, you might as well build something for yourself, right? Like, why wouldn't you? Even if it doesn't work, it's like at least I learned from it. That's the thing. I think the common thread that I'm seeing is that these people see it. They realize that and again, these are in industries that aren't like tech, you know, but they see it, they're interested in it, they see the power, and then they're like, man, they realize they're astute enough to realize that this isn't going to go away and that this is, which is interesting because a lot of people like in the industry, you know, think differently on that, but they think that it's not going to go away and they know that it's going to be important and they can see their business owners, they can see that there's value there. So then they learn about it. And then it's like, well, now what do we do? You know what I mean? That's in some cases. And again, I think again, going back to the Excalibur thing, you know, I think I know you can't see it, but like going back to that, like it's like I do think that is the next fork in the road. And I'll keep you updated as I see more people like kind of transcend there. Cause I already have the one guy that's been dealing with it for a few months. He's realized that it's a little overwhelming. He realizes that there's so much that it gives you, it's almost too much to think about. And that's potentially where you and I and all of us, we can kind of come back into the fold and really have some leverage there. Let's go to the chat. Everyone who's using Claude in a terminal is 99.9999% ahead of most people on this planet. Well, I'm happy. I don't use it in the terminal all the time, but I get what you're saying. I'm happy to know that maybe you guys or whoever, like we are in that camp. I'm going to say this though. Where did I write this down? Did I write this somewhere? I feel like I tweeted this or wrote this or something like that. But anyway, I'm finding it difficult. Maybe you guys don't find it difficult. Maybe you have great experience with this. I'm finding it difficult, and I'm navigating. Like I said, I'm navigating right now. This concept of being that far ahead, knowing so much. It's like the problem of like I know all this shit. First question is the projection problem, which I'm working on. It's like I know all this stuff, and it's actually not hard. Like it's literally just ask the thing what to do, and you go in that direction. But it's like in the moat, in the time period between like everyone catching up, how do we sell that? And how do we sell it in a way where like preferably it's still ROI positive for them? I don't want to say it's an ethical thing, but it almost feels like ethical, like an ethical dilemma sometimes. It's like if I could build you something way faster now, it's like how does that, obviously the values is still there, so it's not really like a one-to-one there. But it's just almost like, dude, like I know that you could just go do this yourself. So that's why I think that I always lean back towards me personally. This is totally probably not you guys, but I always lean back towards like, I'd rather just sell almost education because like, I feel like if I was selling, well, not necessarily, but like for certain people that are asking for it, it's almost like if they're asking how to do something, like it's just like you can just teach them and then they do it or they don't do it. But you have to monetize that. So that's an aside. I don't want to go down the rabbit hole there, but I do agree that like we're way ahead. If you're even watching any of this fucking content, like you're way ahead. Let alone the people that actually implement the stuff rather than just watch it. So I will say though, side note, there is a lot, I believe, maybe it shows up in the data, but there's a lot of closeted AI like tinkerers, we'll say. What I mean by this is that there are a lot of people that aren't obviously there's a lot of people that aren't posting content about it, but there's a lot of people that I believe that like don't even show up. Like they're just lurkers in the communities and they're interested in it, right? And that's just like a random thing that I've noticed because like I mean, if you throughout the conversations that I've been having, it's like there's a lot of people that are doing some pretty interesting things that you wouldn't expect. You wouldn't expect them to be like, "Oh, I'm tinkering with all this stuff and I'm like actually making progress." I think that's the thing. There's so much hype bullshit and I try not to do it. There's so much hype bullshit and so much loudness around this whole stuff that there's a lot of people that are quiet and they're like moving in the shadows, which is like I mean, again, that's not a new concept, but I just think that it is noticeable because I've seen it. And I've seen some people talking about that. We got a reply here to Fat J. As you said that, I have 12 terminals running with multiple agents as AI providers, and half of them are working together and handing over work. The future, 0.0000001% of people. Yeah. The part with understand AI is really like 0.1%, if even. Yeah. Well, I said I have a video. I have a video on my channel. It says, watch this video and you'll know more about AI than 99% of people. I think it's probably even more than that because I actually go into like, I don't just talk about the stuff that AI can do. I talk about like how it actually works, which most people don't care about at all. Like they don't care about like what an LLM is versus like chat interface versus coding agent. You know, a lot of people obviously don't care about that. They just care about how maybe they can make a couple bucks. I think about 80% of YouTubers don't even understand AI. They just copy and paste other videos. Well, yeah, I think that's a big problem. I do my best to not do that. Obviously the long form is something that there's a lot. I mean, there's just so much hype, like 10-minute stuff, which I understand it from a creator perspective because you got to like kind of suck people in, but you got to have like some more sustenance. And most of the time it's only behind paid communities, which is difficult because then you can't like corroborate, the evidence to that's what's actually going on. But I will quickly just make one more comment about that. I don't care. I don't know if you guys care about this, but what I've noticed, because I am again squarely in between providing for agency, providing for clients, or trying to figure out their fucking psyche and providing for them, and then over here like educating other peers, builders, freelancers, whatever. Because that's squarely where I sit. The content that I consume on the internet right now is tuned to AI, but it's specifically other people that are doing that. I got to be honest, I don't actually see many of them doing the client work. You almost never see that, obviously, but I don't even like understand like the dynamic there. Like I'm trying to, in some ways kind of like take a little bit of, maybe wisdom or inspiration from it. And I just don't see it at all. I think that I'm, as for small as I am here, like I think I'm one of the only ones that talk about this stuff in this way. Obviously I haven't scoured the internet. I'm sure there's a lot of other stuff, but like, at least from the stuff that I see, like that's not how that's not how you grow. So again, there's a lot of variables there, but it's like, apparently nobody cares. I mean, some people care. There's some people doing it well, but like a lot of the AI stuff is like, it's just like vibe coding products or vibe coding things to make your life better, which is valuable. But ultimately it's like, I don't know about you guys in here. Like, is your goal to be economically valuable to businesses? Because that's a different conversation than learning how to just use OpenClaw just for the fuck of it. I'm not saying OpenClaw can't be used in that context, but I just see it, all the time. And then I see, hype pieces about how to build websites. And it's like, well, that that does give this kind of a bad rap. Like, you can absolutely build great websites with AI, but like, it's not going to be done in 15 minutes. Like, I did an 8-hour live stream. You know what I mean? Like, it's so, yeah. They fall in the NPC bucket. I love the term NPC. I absolutely love that. Yeah. Yeah. Not in a mean way. Just like, yeah, they're just kind of just doing their thing. DWY. Okay. This was, I always have this problem of my chat's 20 minutes behind because I talk too much. I got old relatives telling me build a news publishing website on WordPress and they will pay $20 for Claude to plan me. Interesting. You're saying they want you to build a website on WordPress, but they'll pay $20 for Claude to have that happen? Interesting. Most people don't even pay for ChatGPT. They don't know the difference between thinking mode. Yeah, I mean, we can keep saying that. I mean, obviously, it's. I feel like it is accurate. There was that chart that like says like if you even know what an AI coding agent is, you're in like the 0.00 or whatever percent. So, yeah, and like a lot of people haven't even touched AI. So I think the reality here is when you're inside the bubble, for me, like it's easy to think that I'm behind or I'm late or I don't know enough or whatever. But the reality is, yeah, there's a ton of people outside there that don't understand the capabilities of it. Now, here's the thing though. I do think that does pose some other problems, meaning like regardless of where you're at on this, I think most of us, if you're watching any of this content, like you probably understand there's value here, right? So now it becomes a selling exercise of how do we show this value to other people, and how do we get that in front of them? I do have I hope you guys can understand though that when I have 3 conversations in a short matter of time, and maybe it's geographical too. Like I'm in, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, in the United States. Like I don't know. Obviously around the world it's probably different too. When I have like 3 to 4 conversations in a very short amount of time with these different people, and they understand that like they at least understand this at a high level, like it can be effective for them, and they start playing around with it. That maybe I shouldn't let that persuade me, but I mean that's like there's a little bit of smoke there. You know what I mean? Like I know that it doesn't fully extrapolate to like whatever the percentage would be in like the population with that, but it's just kind of weird. It's kind of weird that that's the case. Because I feel like the thing that I've fallen back to is using AI to do my work better. Yes. But also like I'm trying to sell AI, which is slightly counterproductive sometimes because like, first of all, what does that mean sometimes? But 2 is they're not looking for AI. You still got to be outcome driven, which is something that I can talk about kind of in the kind of newer partnership thing that I'm trying to work on here. Because my biggest problem is like I'm putting out custom proposals for things that people want when they come to me, and it's just like it's a good proposal. It lands with what they want. Like it could be perfect for what they're trying to get to, but then either maybe they don't like the price or what have you, and then we've just wasted a bunch of time. So I've taken all of that data and kind of tried to be like, I'm trying to optimize for recurring revenue. No doubt about it. My archetype is I want to get into your business and I want to understand the website, the lead gen, the operations. Like I want to understand that type of thing. And it's just like the reality is we're not doing all the work manually anymore. Like we can instantiate different things that are making it better with AI. And honestly, the long and short of that, I won't go any deeper right now on that. I'll go back to the chat in a second. The long and short of it is one of the problems has been there is just like qualification. Like they can see that like I make the YouTube videos. Some of them come through YouTube, but like these business owners, they need like this tangible ROI feel, and they need to know that you've like done like almost exactly what they want. And when you do a custom proposal, to me, seems like it's a way harder sell because it's like, well, you obviously, because this is custom, have not done this exact thing. So I've had that happen. you know? And it's annoying. It's annoying to do that. So I've tried to productize it a little bit. I can kind of show you that, feel free to steal it if you want. What do we got here? Time is the biggest factor. An owner with a large business simply won't have time to do AI. I mean, I agree and I disagree in some ways just because I think that I think that some of them, again, from at least from my experience here, some of them absolutely are doing it. Some of them are utilizing it. But like they're not going to know off the rip how to use it well. They're not going to know how to use it, but they might play around with it. I would just change the way that I would change this. It's not that they're not going to have enough time to use it, because like if they actually did put in some time, it's like investing in anything. If they did put in the time up front, like the one that I told you about, the one that built their website in like 6 hours or whatever with Perplexity, they saved a lot of money. Like realistically, like they saved a lot of money that somebody else would have charged them. So if they start picking up on that and they tell their friends and people start like, if they are willing to invest, they're business owners, remember that. Like they're probably willing to invest in things that are going to save or make them money. I really just think that it's not like, listen. I'm connecting the dots as we go here, but look, we're all probably web design adjacent here, right? 5 years ago, you go to a business owner and you say, hey, guess what, man? You can build your own website. You don't need somebody to do it for you. Okay, well, what does that take? Well, you gotta fucking go into Squarespace and you gotta learn how to drag shit around and you gotta fucking do all this stuff that's completely specific to this platform and is not gonna help you in any other fucking way at all. But you could build your website. You could take probably weeks to learn this thing too, because it's kind of a pain in the ass and you gotta do everything manually. You gotta change the templates, how you do all this stuff. I just don't think it's the same. I really don't. This is what I mean. And this is every time I come up with one of these good like analogies, I think I really need to dig into it and push back if you don't agree. This is not the same as that. This is not the same as that. It's not like equating AI, the which is a buzz term at this point, obviously, most used word ever, but the learning how AI like operates and works and what it can do, one part of that is building a website. You know what I mean? Like one part of that. The whole fucking value prop before of like Squarespace and Wix and all the bullshit that we were like worried that clients were we were all right. Okay. They're not going to fucking go over there and do that. Okay. They're like, some of them obviously did, but they're not going to go over there and do anything substantial there. That wasn't a problem. This is a little different. Like this can, when more content keeps coming out, nobody fucking said that. Well, they might have said, but nobody was serious when they said that, like, Squarespace, run your whole business from inside the Squarespace app. I mean, maybe they were serious, but like, you can actually run your whole business from like a Claude Code interface. Now, I'm not saying it's there. I'm just saying that it is absolutely possible to create. Like, there's already a bunch of content creators, myself kind of included, because I'm interested by the topic and I could do it. I just don't know how it's going to evolve, because I do think it's not going to be in Claude Code. I think it would be more something like Claude Cowork or something like that, so it's more accessible. But if you go look at guys like Liam Otley, 800,000 subscribers, he's been going deep on this AI OS bullshit because he's got a fucking agency that made a fuck ton of money and he makes money from the content and the accelerator, so he's got the fucking time to dick around and do all this stuff. But this AI OS concept, right, where you have like a layer of AI around your business that just handles shit. Like, that is 100% feasible, possible, and will continue to happen. And when more people realize that that's a thing, they're going to do it. Like, there's no way they're not going to do it, because everyone is going to continue to be like more interested in that. They're going to continue to be more, it's going to be, it's so appealing. Can you like, how is it not appealing? It's appealing to everyone to not have to like work as much. So, but that's what I mean is like, that's the one thing I would say there is that's a variation on that I have not heard entirely. And I need to commit that one to memory and maybe repurpose that. This is not the same as before when it comes to websites, because it's so much larger and it's so much in so many different ways. And again, I say that it sounds like duh, but I just don't think it's the same thing. I mean, to be clear, that is literally how the guy, like, let me try to say it differently. These people that I'm talking about did not start using Claude or start using Perplexity or whatever to build a fucking website. They went in there to do other shit, and building a website is just one of the things, because it's actually, from a technical perspective, not that difficult to build a website. Obviously, there's more skill involved to build like proper good things like that. But my point is that they're already in, like, they're interfacing with the tools. This is why I'm saying, like, this is why this is so much bigger than just the website side of things, and why I don't ever want to get like bogged down thinking about that anymore, or just try to sell that, because that's not the highest value thing. And if you've attached your personality and your ID to building websites, that's great. I mean, maybe you're gonna have to lean into that harder. I think you're still gonna have to use AI, because people are gonna like want that from you, unless you've built like an incredible brand around like beautiful custom handmade things that AI can never produce. I mean, we could. I don't think that's the reality of the situation for long, if now even, but still, that's why I can't be there anymore, because I never attached my personality to that. That was just something that I enjoyed doing, and I wanted to move that way, and I thought it was valuable, and it is valuable, but it's just the value has shifted so drastically. It's shifting more, and it's not going to stop. So yeah, I mean, that's my read. I've started building a website with anti-gravity, and it kind of takes a lot of time to build good responsive site with it in the beginning. So I mean, yeah, for sure. I don't have the same experience, but maybe. Well, first of all, there's a couple things here. Um, See, like, I'm meta processing. I'm processing the meta of this question, like, as I'm trying to answer it. Let me try to hit on the bullet points. The first thing is like, okay, well, I don't have enough context, obviously, to provide a holistic answer or response to this, but off the rip, when you say in anti-gravity or with anti-gravity, already a problem. Okay. I don't mean it's bad. I mean, like, if you open anti-gravity, fuck it. Let me just show you. Okay. Let me just show you. This is, I don't even, I have anti-gravity, but I don't even play around in here that often. So this is the first thing. Okay. That hopefully this is, kind of everyone does this. Okay. So let me go over here. Hang on. Middle right. No, we can't do that. We got to go bottom left here. And that's pretty cool. I didn't know when I switched it was going to stay like that. I thought it would get rid of it. Okay, that's cool. Right here, right? So we're in anti-gravity, right? Just so we're all clear, real quick lesson, okay? Middle thing here, free value. This is anti-gravity, if you didn't already know. This is Google's fork of VS Code, okay? So VS Code over here. I don't even know what's going to be in here. All right, archetype offer right here. This is VS Code, okay? Anti-gravity. Keyboard is off. VS Code, anti-gravity. It's the same fucking thing, okay? It's very similar, first of all, okay? They forked it because it's open source software, and then they just skinned it and they made some new cool things and whatever. If you want to use anti-gravity, great, okay? But what I want to tell you is, I'm not picking on you. I'm just saying, like, don't say that you're using anti-gravity, because that's like, you could say you're using anti-gravity, but it's not enough, okay? Because anti-gravity is just the fucking IDE. It's just the development environment that you're using. So you have to say what you're using here, right? So, and I mean, I think if you're using anti-gravity, I'd have to assume maybe you're using like a Gemini model right here, high or low or whatever, because I think they're changing this now from what I've like tried to keep up with, but I don't use Gemini to develop, like, because everybody that I've heard and tried and stuff like that, it was really good for you guys in the very beginning. And then like Claude Opus was just really OP, and it had like the front end design skill, and you could just do all this shit. Like, all I'm saying is that if you're having responsive trouble, first of all, the first question is like, which model are you using, right? So are you using Sonnet, Opus, or are you using one of these ones? That's the first thing. So don't say that you're using anti-gravity, because it doesn't have enough context. That's the first thing. So that would be the first question. And then after that is, have you asked it to be responsive? Is literally like the simplest way that I could start. I could start with this. But ultimately, it's like, are you just trying to create a responsive website that looks good on all devices? If so, you might have to steer it in a certain way, but I mean, all I can say is I've never had a problem. If I ever, I don't use anti-gravity, but like if I'm in Claude, if I'm using this model, Opus 4.6, and I am asking it to build a website and I'm doing it, I never have any issues with like simple stuff like that anymore. Now maybe it's because of the way I prompt, but I hit Whisperflow, link in the description. I hit Whisperflow and I talk and I was like, hey, build me a great website for a plumber or something like that. And honest to God, even a prompt like I don't think I'm logged in. I don't think I'm opt in with this, but even something like that still like gives me like a good. It's not gonna be a good website. Okay, it's gonna be like a website that is on par with like a standard average website today. Obviously, that's not nearly enough context. I'm not saying to do that. I'm just trying to point an example that I don't have those issues, but if we had more specifics, I'm happy to help. Um, but again, the main point of this was just like the whole anti-gravity thing, because it's very possible. Because this is what I've heard. Okay, real quick, let me go back to this because this is another main point I've heard, and I don't use it enough because I don't think it's that great. Gemini and all this right here, Google has wasted a lot of money on that, so to speak, because they've just given a bunch of free inference out for people that use anti-gravity and all this other stuff or whatever. So now I've heard that like I've actually been in here before and I've gone even in Gemini, just in the chat or whatever, like it doesn't work sometimes. Sometimes I'm in the AI studio and it just doesn't return shit because it seemingly I pay for the stuff, but seemingly like you can watch other videos on it. They dive into deeper, like Theo and stuff. They just talk about it. It's like they're more tapped on like the specific news and how it's all going and how the numbers are changing. I don't have enough money to be worried about that. I need to worry about like actually learning the tools rather than just watching all the news. But yeah, that's what I'm seeing there is that Google has like they've got some really cool stuff, but they've kind of created a situation where like their paid product is suffering because of all the free inference that they've given out. So I don't know. Okay. I don't know if that's exactly your situation. I just wanted to bring that up. And I know it was like 20 or 30 minutes ago at this point. Sorry with the chat situation, but yeah. Mark, your security headers need update, H-access. I'm surprised. Where are we at here? I'm surprised Claude forgot to improve these. For me, it always fixes them on the first run for all web apps and websites. Are we talking about the web app thing? Are we talking about the Content Forge thing? Are we talking about my website or yeah, I don't know, but I appreciate that flag. For example, how do you show companies that are still using a printer to do feedback notes to tell you to change things on their websites, even Lovable? Okay, what are we saying here? How do you show companies that are still using a printer to do feedback notes to change things on the website? Are you saying like how do we get people in a digital age? Is that ultimately what you're kind of asking? I don't know, dude. I appreciate your I appreciate your I don't know how to call it. I know it's not criticism. It's just I appreciate your pushback and your thoughts here. I feel like you're operating from a perspective that the world isn't going to continue to change. I mean maybe it won't change. Maybe like who knows how much it'll change before we die. But like it's I mean, I'm confused at the question, to be completely honest. It's like some people have changed, and more people will continue to change. I know change is hard. Oh fuck, I understand that. I'm just saying like I don't like operating under that premise, and I feel like that's how these questions are being asked, which I'm fine with. I'm fine with having the conversation. It's just I don't know if I agree with that. So maybe I'm misreading that. But to try to answer the question, it's like okay, yeah, accounting company doesn't fucking use computers. They use a bunch of paper. There's paper stacked up all around the fucking office. My read on that is that fucking company is going to probably go out of fucking business because that's actually that's one of the only ways. I don't have any data on this. Okay. This is pure hypothesis. This is pure, just like Mark's mind working. Okay. But honestly, I feel like if we threw this into a large language model, we told it not to glaze us, and we told us to get us some actual data to support some of this, I think we would have something decent. The hypothesis here is that the only reason that, like, we'll use the accounting example. The only reason new accounting companies
can crop up and thrive is because the old ones, they obviously maybe the owner like dies or whatever, but like they 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 overplay their hand when it comes to like referral and long standing reputation. I can't give you the actual example in my head, but it's a company that I know in the area. Okay, it's an accounting company, and they literally do everything like on paper. Like they have like the software to put the shit in, but like they're mailing stuff, like there's papers everywhere, there's no like digital files, whatever. The only way that company continues to survive is if they eventually end up changing and they modify their systems. It was built, assuming like I don't know how specifically when that one was built, but I would have to imagine the owner's like, I don't know, 70s or whatever. I'd have to imagine it was at least like 30 years ago, right? If they don't evolve, they will die. Like it's that simple. At some point, the technology is going to get too good, and if they stay behind the curve for too long, it's over. So my whole thing is like, I understand what you're saying. Change is difficult. I understand all that, but and how do you get them to use this stuff? Whatever. But I just think it's like that is not that's not even the people that I want to deal with, right? It's like, how do we get in front of those other people? How do we see those people? At the same time, though, like it's kind of a conversation where like, listen, this is your come to Jesus moment. I'm gonna try to sell you on this. If you don't realize that this is the case, then maybe we're not the right fit for you. But honestly, you're gonna it's over anyway. And like, okay, great. Maybe we can just leave the conversation there. Maybe that is a solution. Whatever. Maybe we don't go that route at all. Um, but then we're kind of back at the situation where it's like, okay, well, who are we dealing with? We're dealing with the fucking people that realize that this is like a big deal. And then we're back to the people I'm talking to. So it's like, I get it. I get it. I get it. I understand opinion is that these people are never going to learn or something to that regard. I get that. Um, or it's going to be a slow uptick or something like that. I get that that's the position, but I just don't think that's going to be everyone. I don't think so. We could probably look to other examples throughout time. Running the AI still work, even the guys who are doing agentic lead nurturing generation still spend a lot of time running it all. Yeah, for sure. I would assume though that you can get more out of it, and like your output is obviously multiplied. I mean, I'm already seeing that. Um, I was able to build. I mean, like how long it would have taken me to build the website that I have now in a page builder. I don't even want to think about it, to be completely honest. And one other thing that I'm going to throw in here too is there's this weird argument that like always crops up when you have that conversation. It's like, well, there's a little bit of like obviously the idea of like, oh, everything needs to be like fucking perfect and all that sort of stuff. There's a couple angles actually. The clean code angle is like one angle where it's like, yeah, okay, you want everything to be perfect, semantic of that or whatever. But also like the fact is that there is a real difference. I was talking about this in MBS yesterday, Modern Builder Society. There is a real difference between like what the clean code argument like kind of used to be and now what it is with AI. I'm not like, I don't, some people might. You're not using AI inside the fucking layer of abstraction. Like that's not how I built like my website. Like I built it direct, like the AI wrote like, JavaScript, HTML, CSS, whatever, like using Astro as a framework, right? It wrote that. It didn't write it in, it didn't like use some sort of abstraction layer above it, like a page builder or whatever, to use AI to build that and then to not get whatever. Right. And I'm coming from the WordPress angle. So like, I'm talking about like, it's not like you used AI I'm not picking on it, but it's not like you used AI in Elementor and then got weird shit afterwards. And now it's just like you sped up a process, whatever. I talk about this in that video with the abstraction layers. I circumvented the abstraction layer. That's what AI, like, I feel like it like really, the argument becomes weaker when the AI can do things. Now, again, you can argue that it's not perfect, it's not whatever. I would argue right back at you that humans aren't perfect and they never will be. And the idea that that you should be constantly trying to be like perfect on your syntax and your semantics and everything like that, it's worthwhile. But I'll just tell you where I was. I was literally paralyzed because I thought that I had to fucking be perfect on all that shit. That is the easiest fucking way to go broke and never ship a goddamn thing in your fucking life. So do with that information what you want. I don't care. Like if you disagree with that, that's totally fine. That is completely personal to me, and that's how I've had to work very hard to get away from that. And luckily, this all coincided with me leaning into my ability to orchestrate rather than literally fucking write CSS for the rest of my fucking life. So if that's what you want to do, I'm not telling you not to do that. That, maybe this content isn't for you. But for me, that's not where I see the world going. So it is what it is. We've written, I don't know how many fucking lines of CSS the world has written. That's just the language I'm picking on right now. But I don't know how many lines of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript the fucking world has written. Obviously, it's gone probably way up since the advent of AI. But even before that, how many lines of that were out on the internet? Do you intellectually honest conversation? Do you think that a language model could, a robot could pick up on all the patterns there and do a better job than you or I? If you think the answer is no, God bless you, but I don't think I disagree. We'll agree to disagree on that one. I think that it's absolutely better than me at all of this, and I would rather utilize it. Is it better than you? I'm gonna say probably, but you don't have to agree with that if you don't want to. So that's where I'm at, right? And I don't even know how we got on this topic at this point. Oh, the run, like how much time it took. It was so fast. It's so fast compared to all the other stuff. And again, you might say, "Hey, fuck, man, I'm so fucking fast in my page builder. I fucking move shit around. I do stuff like classes. I go to all this stuff." God bless you. Do your thing. But for me, it's not like that. It never was like that. I didn't like. I'm like good at understanding what's going on. But like, why do I want to be the bottleneck in the speed race of this? I just don't. I don't get it. So maybe you guys don't like that, but that's where I'm at right now. I got to lean into that. Using the Gemini one, I'm building a bit complex one. It's online tool type of website. So I will say that, yeah, once you get a little more complex, it's probably like, a web app trying to get everything to work, fit properly. You're definitely going to have to, make some adjustments. You might have some like overflow, some buttons and shit that's like weird. So yeah. I mean, is it free? Like, I guess you're using the free thing. If you're using the free one, then like I gotta be honest with you. This is the one. There's a lot of topics in here. I would be. I would have realistic expectations. Like maybe that's not free. I don't want to like say that there, but I know like they were heavily subsidizing this. Like you download this and you just be able to use it or whatever. Um, I'm just skeptical of the Google stuff because I know that they're kind of pulling back on that type of thing. So I would just be realistic with the expectations of like I pay $100 a month for Claude Code. It's an unbelievable deal, but for a lot of people, I get it. You might not want to pay that or whatever. So I think like generally you get what you're paid for is directionally accurate most of the time. And I think with Gemini, depending on what the deal is there, unless you tell me you're paying like hundreds of bucks a month or hundreds, whatever, like if that's the case, we gotta fucking talk. We have a different conversation. But um that would be what I would say is like you're probably gonna have to steer it a little bit more. It might not be as good in certain cases. But at the same time, have you just, I don't want to sound like an asshole here, but like, here's what I would recommend genuinely is, I mean, I don't know how else to say this. I'm not telling you what to buy or what to do, but if just knowing this a little bit about your situation, if I had a thing in front of me in anti-gravity right now, I'm using Gemini and I'm not going to change my model and I have this project in front of me, I would literally, what I would do is you don't have to get Whisperflow, but turn on your computer so you could talk into it. Turn on the dictation thing on your computer so you could talk into it. So you could like, you don't have to type all this out. Cause when we type, we absolutely get way more, like think about how long it would take to type all the stuff that I say into my computer. And then you type all that out. You're tired as fuck now that you did all that. And then you get a shitty prompt. Now you're pissed. Like, I mean, human emotion is going to come into this, right? Like when I speak into my computer for 5 minutes rather than typing for 15, even if the thing doesn't output exactly what I want, I'm going to be less pissed. You know what I mean? But normally though, if you can communicate and you can like say exactly what it is, I mean, just look at the computer, have the dictation thing on, and then go like, hey, this button right here, and give it a screenshot too. That absolutely helps. This button right here, you can see how this looks on mobile. Looks like shit. Can you adjust this button here? We have an overflow issue. Can you make sure you find that, put it whatever? I don't know. I can't tell you how good or bad. I don't have enough experience with Gemini to know how good or bad it is as a coding model. I've heard bad things, so like that's why I'm being slightly more pessimistic. But that's literally how I would do it. Is I would just make sure you're feeding it screenshots, make sure you're trying to give it as much detail as possible, and for your own sake, doing it as quickly and efficiently as possible, so you're not typing for 15 minutes and getting a shitty prompt back and then being pissed. Shitty output back and getting pissed. Gemini Pro, okay. My website, okay. Um, I don't know anything about the security headers H access. I've heard of HT access. Okay, I'm gonna have to look into that. Appreciate that, John. Yeah, those companies, you can't sell to them a Claude bot. Yeah. What you can sell them is moving into the digital age. Before this, you need to make sure that but for this, you need to make them an OCR system. I mean, okay, now I'm a little lost, but I mean, I guess the OCR system is, I guess I get that. I mean, I don't know if that was like a joke necessarily or whatever, but I mean, obviously from an OCR perspective, like all these things literally do OCR. So yeah, I guess I don't know what we're actually saying, but like basically, yeah, OCR is like just, I mean, you could build it with an API, like with Claude or whatever. I know you're not asking me how to do that or whatever, but I'm saying like that could be one direction. Yeah, for sure. To handle those people. I think it's all in phases. Every business is at a different angle. That's why I've always leaned towards custom stuff, but the custom stuff is a real pain in the dick to like actually go through the sales process for. So that's why I've tried to, and I'll show you this guy. I mean, I don't know. I feel like I change my offers like often, but I also feel like I get the feedback and I like kind of pivot them a little bit. I'll just show you guys what I'm doing now. I mean, you might hate it, you might love it, you might take it, whatever, do whatever you want. I'll put the link in the chat here when I bring it up here. I'm not really happy with it yet, but I'll just real quick, I'll run you through this. Recently, I changed the website up a little bit. I've realized this is my hypothesis. I had joined the community first. I realized that in the grand scheme of things, again, your situation is different. Okay. But I'm going to tell you a couple things. First thing is that I'm leaning into me as the talent, the knowledge, the main thing. Like I have motive11.com, but like I'm not really interested in building this business for more than just like being the service front end. Like if I get paid to build a website or whatever workflow or whatever, it goes through this LLC. But I have another LLC for all of like the sponsorship shit that I've done in the past, the affiliate stuff, the community stuff, the course stuff. That's Szymanski Media. Okay. So just so you understand, if you're interested in this at all, is I have those two things, right? So this is what my life has been like for years. Okay. And I've always tried to go over here and be like, we will help you with this and we will do this. I've never had that actually though. I've literally only had like one or two subcontractors. I've never wanted a team. I've never wanted any of that. I don't want to hire people. I don't want to deal with all that shit. As soon as I realized AI could help me in that endeavor and potentially alleviate all the need for that, I was just like, you know what, we're not gonna do that. I'm not even gonna lean into that. I'm not even gonna play that game anymore. It kind of still sounds like that. There's probably still like wheeze over here. Obviously, it's right here, but like I don't want to even care about this. Like it's here, it's a thing. But ultimately, this is my new strategy. And I'm not saying you should necessarily do this, although maybe I just don't understand. Like solo operators having an entity like this never really made any sense to me. Like I hate the idea of people like, well, I don't care what other people do, but I just hate this idea of like even having a we here. But you can't say I. It's like it's fucking weird. So that's why I just like I kind of just made it just do whatever, and then just like okay, I don't even whatever. Like the only thing I really get through here is like kind of mostly spam. So actually fun thing that I did was this is also built with Astro with Claude Code. So then like I went in here and I said, hey, this form actually just gets sent to it's all static here. This form gets sent via webhook to my Google Chat. And I actually made I integrated now that I think about it, I gotta think about. I think it's a Claude. I think it is Claude. I think it was Haiku, the API here. So like, what happens real quick, just as an aside, this gets sent through here. So if you put something in here and it wasn't a lead, it will send me a notification on my Google Chat, but it will like process it. It'll say like, oh, okay, like look through it and it thinks, okay, is this spam or solicitation or is this an actual lead? And it'll tell me that just because that's one random thing that I did there. So that's valuable. Maybe you could try that for your clients too. But anyway, point is that I'm trying to like have that as an entity, right? A front facing entity, but not really like nobody's coming through there. I'm not like doing Motive 11 ads. I'm not doing any of that. I'm the fucking person. Like I'm just, like a personal brand guy, right? So it's like, I'm not going to lean into that anymore. I'm just going to be like me. It's me. So now it's like, this used to be flipped, but I realized that this is the second part of it. I realized that if I'm ever going to do any client work, they don't want to see join my community first. They do not want to see that. Like that's not like really the thing that I'm splitting a little bit of hairs here, but it's like if somebody wants to come towards me, like I feel like you have to pick one of these to put first, so to speak, if you're going to have both. And I think that by my estimation, it makes more sense to put this here because and maybe you guys tell me if I'm wrong, but like if you're somebody that wants to learn from me, let's just say learn from me or work with me, right? Let's say it like that. If you're somebody that wants to learn with me, you're probably not going to want to work with me, but you'd easily go here. But if you're somebody, the likelihood that if you were somebody that wanted to work with me and you saw these flipped, you'd be like, because I've already had this happen. Again, anecdotal, but I've already had it happen. Like, well, I just want to make sure, client speaking, I just want to make sure that like the community and the content isn't the main thing that you do, or like you have enough time to work with me. And it's like, bro, I'm a fucking professional. Like, yes, if I take your money, I'm gonna fucking do the work. You know what I mean? So like that's part of the reason that I did it that way. It's like people think like, oh, because you have a YouTube channel, you have whatever. It's like you don't do anything else. Like, bro, the fucking YouTube channel is partially there to drive some of the business and build the authority. You know what I mean? So it's like this is just one very subtle way to kind of like make that a little more clear. The join my community obviously goes to Modern Builder Society. Plug, go here. Join. We do some cool shit, exclusive stuff, bi-weekly calls, all that sort of stuff. Anyway. But over here, work with me. This is the thing that, for your business, go ahead and steal this or tell me it's fucking shit, whatever. I don't care. But like, this is for people that find me, which has happened, but doesn't happen at the same level as like the other stuff. They find me and they're like, okay, let's have, either I'm working on it, right? It's like, what do they want? And it's like either advisory call potentially, which I'm kind of mixed on this. I might need like another version of this for the other thing, but like, if they know of me, if they've seen my content, if they think I can help them, but they're not ready to commit to anything yet, like this is a simple little entry point. They can book a call, they can learn more. Learn more goes to the page, book a call goes to the Calendly. I don't know why this is being slow right now. When are you DDoSing me? When are you DDoSing my static site? I don't know. Let's open this one. Is it all slow? Is it broken? Should I stop relying on Cloudflare for all of my fucking infrastructure? Obviously, probably a bad idea. I'm actually, as a side note, because this is, it's cool that this is happening right now. I am actually kind of concerned about that, and I probably should deal with that long term. Like, it doesn't make any sense that I don't pay, I pay Cloudflare a lot of money for domains, but like you wouldn't have to, you know what I mean? Like that's not like a prerequisite. Like it's actually kind of concerning that I rely on Cloudflare so much, and I, being a lot of people, rely on Cloudflare. This is really fucking irritating. What is going on here? Yeah, I don't know. That's weird. Obviously, it's a static site. There's no reason that it takes a long time to load. That's not an actual issue. It's got to be some sort of like weird host thing. That's awesome, man. Sweet. Fucking A. Nice. Nice. Anyway, I guess while we're on this fucking page, we can kind of show you the rest of this stuff here, but I just have like a ton of like stuff here. I'll be honest with you though. This doesn't do a lot. Like just having these doesn't really do like a ton of stuff here. like just having the, the things here. Obviously this is shit. It's kind of just all in one place, but I need to start layering it in different places. And really the big thing is like people could read these all day. It's like they need to see that like an example, you know what I mean? Like people are like very, very, very weary. They need to see like an actual example. They can watch YouTube videos. They can see that I have a bunch of subscribers. They can see all this stuff, but like, I got to do a better job at selling the outcome and the specific thing there. So that is one piece of this. All right, I'm going to click this again and it's still not going to work. That's awesome. That's super cool. Yeah, I should definitely consider starting to pay for hosting, which is kind of annoying, but it's kind of really irritating that like it's kind of like jokes on you when you don't pay for Cloudflare and then you think that, it's going to be a good time for you. So that's unfortunate. Yeah, it's actually literally fucked. That's so cool. That's so cool. Let's go to the chat. It's quite poor, but can provide good results. Doesn't iterate well at all. Is that Gemini? I think we're talking about. Yeah. Have you tried M dash with your Astro sites? I have not tried M dash yet. I looked at it. I think they made some level of updates. Yeah, that's not gonna obviously. Gotta be honest. Like the play there with M dash being the thing, I get it. It's funny, but I type in M dash and I'm not gonna ever see that. I like how it's easy to kind of get in here and play around with this. I don't know, guys. I can tell you some more polarizing things, if you want. I'll be honest with you. After I take a sip from my wife's graveyard water bottle here, she has 50 of. I have zero ambition. This is definitely like we talked about being like 0.00% or whatever. This is 0.0000001% probably. I have zero ambition to be clicking around in this fucking thing. None, not at all. Like zero. Now, maybe like I could understand like maybe I just don't want to do it is really kind of like what it is. I'll play around with it maybe, but like I have no ambition. I just have no ambition to like at all to all of the content that I put on this website that will not fucking load right now. Please load. Thank you, Jesus. Fucking Cloudflare. Like here, just to give you an example. All of this content on this tools page, you think of this, you're like, oh, Mark, you have a tools collection or a tools CPT, right? And you got logos, you got this, you got this, you get this. I realize this doesn't work for every type of content, right? But I just want to tell you guys that you might look at this and you're like, fuck, Mark, that was probably a lot of work. You had to go get all those logos, you had to get all those, you had to put all those titles in, you had to tag it. Guys, I didn't do any of that. Okay? I didn't do any of that. None of it. All these were I'll caveat here. Maybe like some of these I had to grab for some reason, but like look, if you can take anything from anything that I say and you never watch anything else, please just for the love of God. This is I got to make a piece of content about this. Don't fucking do anything anymore. Anything until you ask the AI if it can do it. I'm being serious. Like when I was building this page, I asked it, hey, listen, this is what I want to do. Okay. I'm fine with helping you, but I just want to do an experiment. I just want to see how much you can actually do. I didn't realize it was still on the screen. Sorry. I just want to see how much you can actually do. I just want to see if you can do all of it for me. I want to see if you can put the layout out there. If you can go to my other site and like other, like go find these products. I did have like the list of like the products or whatever, right? Well, actually, I had a list of sort of products and I said like, go out and find the images, do all that sort of stuff. It's able to go out and find the images. It's able to save them to your download them, save them to your directory. It's able to crop the fucking images. It's even able to get rid of the backgrounds if you ask it. It's not doing that itself. It's calling tools and libraries to do it for you. Guys, I haven't told you about this yet. I have a workflow on this machine right now that I'm trying to, make a little bit better, but I have a workflow where I give it an hour and a half long video and it cuts out all the silences automatically. Okay. And transcribes it with DeepGram API and uses FFmpeg, like do all this stuff. And then outputs it as a timeline file, not even a video file. Okay. For that I can just pop into DaVinci Resolve and make some edits if I have to. Like, that's what I'm saying is just I'm not saying let it do everything, but I'm saying like, see what it can do. Don't do anything until you ask it. So that's my thing is like when I am radicalized, okay? Like when I want to put these resources on here, when I want to put these videos on here, the videos are even different because you could probably I didn't even look up the API to get all the videos because I didn't know if I wanted to put all of them on that, all that stuff. Like all this stuff here, the praise, like all this, oh, Mark, you got a testimonials thing? No, this comes from Senja. And it's a custom card that gets pulled in via the API and it comes from Senja. Like I'm conflating two ideas, so I don't want to get too like crazy here. But like I have zero interest in fucking around back here. Like none. I'm not saying you shouldn't have a CMS, okay? I understand that I'm different than like my clients. I'm building a website. I'll put the video on YouTube, but like the back end, like long, I closed an insurance agency on a new, like, simple type website like this to upgrade their shit. I'm going to film the whole thing. I'm going to put it, the whole video, the thing of me doing it into Modern Builder Society. The front end, I'll put like a condensed version on the main channel probably, or maybe the second channel. I'm not sure, but it'll be on there. Subscribe, make sure you see it. But the point is like, I'm going to show that whole process. Okay. Like I don't care about this. Like I don't need to be back here. I really don't. Like I can't see real, like a ton of value for me to be back here. For client sites, for sure. I'm going to put something on that. I don't know if I'm going to put M-Dash. I might put Sanity. Probably not going to put WordPress. I just think it's too much for 99% of the things that I'm doing now. But yeah. So I get the idea. I understand. Like clients, people like that, they want to be able to log in. They want to be able to click around, do all this stuff. I'm going to be honest with you though. I think if you could show them that they could just like, why would somebody want to click around like this when they could just tell something what to do? Now, the problem is that, yeah, they have to be a little descriptive, but like the alternative between like clicking around like this and doing this stuff is literally just telling it what you want to do. Do you think this screenshot right here is more complex? Or do you think like having somebody just like upload some information that maybe they want to put in and say what they want to do is harder? I just think that like we're moving towards that. So we're not there yet. Okay, it's a crazy idea. I know, you need a CMS for the rest of the time. I get it. Okay, I got it. But that's where I'm at with that. And that's for sure not what a lot of people think. But yeah. Best practice, separate your web server from your DNS provider. Yeah, not a bad idea. They just they make it so easy to put everything on one place for free. So yeah, I feel you. Probably a good idea. I think for a website with few pages, it's better to go static than use CMS. I don't disagree with you. I'll still use WordPress this year, but you're dropping Elementor. Okay, wait a second. And next year, maybe even WordPress. Okay, interesting. So Fat J, you are an Elementor user. That's what you're saying? Okay, be interested to know more of your perspective on that. That's an interesting, that's interesting to know that information based on the other conversations there. Let's go here because we had a little technical difficulties with the free server that we pay for, which is me being, I guess, a clown, and probably should deal with like something different. So anyway, let me just run you through this. You guys can love it, hate it, steal it, whatever the hell you want to do. This is the love child of just like my context and my recent things with this whole situation. Okay, so I see this as like an attempt to try to sell something that's more productized. That's what I see this as. Now, you could just say, Mark, why don't you just be like real specific and go into an industry and just show exactly how to fucking set up like the whole process of a roofer? I might do that. Okay. Honestly, I might get to that point because this is getting kind of annoying where like I'm having these conversations, I'm providing value and like it's just not hitting. Um, I might get to that point. The problem that I've always had with that is I just don't want to attach like one specific industry and niche to my personal brand now because I've leaned into that. I could do that somewhere else, like over on Motive 11 and just make it like one specific thing. Maybe this is a journey. Okay. This is where I'm at right now. But I have been making progress because, like, regardless of whether, regardless of the very specifics of like if this should be the name or whatever, I don't want to overthink that. Like, this concept, I think, could be directionally accurate. So, it's your digital infrastructure built and managed. And, this, I don't really know if this sales page does a great job to sell it, but the concept is like who it's for, 1 to 5 million. This is actually really important. And if you're not asking your clients how much money they're making, you got to start having these conversations because the reality is like I've dealt with people that are making, 20, $250,000 a month or $250,000 a year. And they're not going to buy shit like this. You know what I mean? Like you have to realize that like there's a number here that matches like a number here. Right. And they can't, this 5 grand a month type thing, like these people will see it and they'll be like, okay, that like we'll consider it. Lower than that, it starts to get weird. I had a nice little, when I was like whipping this up in like Claude Code, I was like going back and forth asking about information and seeing some different things. And it had a nice little thing like this is the sweet spot. More is like they might start to think it's like too little, less annual revenue. They might start thinking it's too much. So that type of thing, just kind of who this is for, who this is not for. The concept here is very simple. We audit your shit. It's paid discovery. We give you a whole expressive, thing about this. I should probably put an example obviously in here that would definitely sell this more, but I don't have one yet. So an example of it and then the program. It's kind of like more of a guided situation because the other problem is like I've tried to sell this to some people now and it's like they don't know what they're getting. That's the first problem, but they also don't know like I ran this by some of these people, right? I ran this by some of these business owners that admittedly they know they need help, but they don't know what they don't know, and therefore they know that they need help. And it's like, well, okay, if I'm going to help you, then we can do that. But then they're like, okay, well, what are we getting? It's like, bro, fair, okay, but we don't even know what the fuck you have yet. You know what I mean? So that's why like this, everyone says, and I've been able to like kind of like sell some people kind of on this in a way. Uh, this audit situation, like this paid discovery thing, is 100% like the way to go. Like you should definitely be doing more of this. Um, whether it's AI specific or if it's just paid discovery for like marketing, general website stuff, however you spin it, like I do think that you could find a price point where people will be like, okay, that makes sense. And then the way to sell it is $1,500. You'll get a thing back. You should probably again show them like an example of it so they could like be like, oh, we could get this for our business. That's awesome. So you could like audit that. Even that though, I'm gonna be honest, like AI could fucking do that. So it's, I mean, like you'd have to provide extra value. If they even know what AI is, it's gonna be a little tough there. So then you give them the audit. And then the way to sell is like, here's the idea. We're going to give you this audit and then we'll have some things that we could potentially partner up with and talk about and do whatever. And, if you want to do that, I think I might actually end up separating this out to be completely honest. Cause now that I'm thinking about it, this probably would sell like even better if I was like more specific about this. But, like me, a professional, like, I talk about the stuff, I look at the stuff all the time. I could see the holes in your thing or whatever. So I think that's actually probably worth separating out. But then the next part is like, okay, well, this is where we're trying to get you. We're trying to get you onto some sort of program or even it could be custom projects, but you need this part first because you need to make some money. You need to get your foot in the door and you need to understand it. And then what you could do is, this line here to sell it a little bit more if you have any problems. If you move forward with the program, this gets credited into your, your other things. So, however you want to slice that business wise, but yeah. But then this is the thing is like, I think this is valuable. It's just, I don't have enough data to know yet, but it's like what like a 6-month timeline would look like instead of, cause again, the pushback that I get is when I had a different page here where actually, I think I could show you the different page. Let me show you this page. I had this page where it's like, I'll build it for you. And then I just showed some people this and they were like, their pushback was, okay, well, but what are you like, kind of what are you doing? And I even had a version of this that was the partnership thing. And it's like, well, what are you doing though? And it's like, well, it's fucking written right here. It's like they don't get it. You know what I mean? They just don't get it. It's like they don't understand that, and this is not it's not, I'm not criticizing them. It's my fucking fault. They don't get it that this is what we're gonna do. You know what I mean? It's like we're gonna figure out what you got going on. We're gonna build some stuff. Then we'll connect it all together and then we'll optimize it. Like that's the easiest way you can kind of slice it, but ultimately it's like here's the problem is like these people don't realize that this isn't a magic key, and I need to do a better job at explaining to them. We can't just come into your shit. This is even the one engagement that I was talking about where the guy wanted me to have like half my capacity and he wanted to do all this stuff. Like the concept makes sense, but like we it's a fucking business. Like it's going to continue to change and have problems. This is why I love business because there's always problems to solve, but this is simultaneously why I don't like dealing with like clients because at least in so many instances, they think like we're gonna do something, even with building websites, right? It's like we're gonna do something, we're gonna build a website, and then it's either gonna be free to host or free to like deal with, which is not true. There's always ongoing costs. That's just how life works. There's always ongoing costs. You can't like there's got to be there's gonna be either hosting or whatever, and from the WordPress times, or there's you can't just have a website and set it there, right? So it's all a big game. Again, maybe you guys have navigated this differently than I have, and maybe you have more success or whatever. But this is one of the things that I just think that is so important because you gotta like drill it into their heads. Like, bro, you are not gonna like as soon as you turn off, as soon as you stop investing, you're going to stop having success. Like you're gonna stop having ROI. So we need to keep doing some shit. And this is why the 6 month thing is even like at least it's a little bit like directionally like this is where we're going. But even after this, it's like you're probably it might work for a little bit, but then you're gonna have more problems. You always have more problems. Like business never stops having problems. So yeah, but after month 6, yeah, you could graduate, do whatever. I mean, I'll drop this link if you guys want to look at this. Apparently, I have to sign into chat. Um, okay, maybe not. I'll deal with that in a second. But yeah, and then this is probably too vague, obviously, because there's no examples. I need to have more case studies on here. But how I work, little how I work section. This is all, there's way too much fucking text on this page. I got to have like way more other stuff, but I have these testimonials here to kind of start, or these are like more case study type things. Some of the things that I've done here, which I got to be better at like expressing specifically the things that I have like done in that regard. And then, all these obviously, and then some little FAQs. So if you've seen a landing page before, you've seen a sales page, it's not anything groundbreaking, but maybe it sparks something, and then start your application. This is fucking fire, dude. Like I spent 20 minutes, 30 minutes on this little guy. This is dope, pretty sick. Fucking who needs Typeform, dog? I mean, this is what I'm talking about, bro. It's like, what are we even doing? What are we even doing? What are we talking about? What are we talking about? I dreamt it. I prompted. I mean, I don't know what to say. Yeah, why are you dropping Elementor? Was since 2.9. But why should like you say, drop and move stuff around? Then I can just tell AI to do it. And since Elementor don't have a MCP out of the box, told them to do so for a year and a half now. Yeah. It takes 10 times longer to make a website with Elementor than just doing it with Claude. Okay, seems like we're aligned here. What's up, BOC? Thank you for being here, dude. Yeah, I mean, again, to Fat Jay's point there, I think that's accurate. I think that's accurate. Let me move my notes over here for a second. I think that's accurate, and I think that we need to figure out more patterns for that. I mean, I've released a video, on the WordPress side of things. I released a video about Jet Engine the other day, which like, those things actually do save a ton of time. So you don't have to set all that stuff up. But I mean, again, guys, I don't know if you're going to arrive at the same situation as me. Maybe you have different clientele. Maybe you have all different needs, but like, I just like went for it. Like I just like I'm getting out of here. Like I'm not even gonna like wait around for the MCPs and the AI to hit this layer of abstraction. I'd rather not. I'd rather just go become this AI vibe coding boom has literally created developers. Now you're not gonna we'll caveat it. They're not developers, but they're more developer minded than your average WordPress uh, designer now, without a doubt. This is an uncomfortable truth. Okay, I know you're gonna hate this. All right. But the reality is that if you're somebody that's vibe coding seriously, you're not like a business owner that's just dicking around with it. Like if you're somebody that is trying to ship products or create apps or create websites and do all that sort of stuff, you can bitch about it all you want. Like you can say like, oh, they don't know what the fuck they're doing. They're not a full fucking software developer or whatever. You can do that. But I bet you they know more about the types of technology than you do. This isn't a criticism towards you necessarily. I'm just saying, like, I bet you they know more. They knew more than me. All I fucking knew was WordPress. I barely even knew PHP. I knew HTML and CSS and a little bit of JavaScript just from doing the stuff. And I knew like Java way back in college. But I didn't know what the fuck Astro was. I didn't know all these different frameworks. I didn't understand what Node was. I didn't understand what any of this stuff is. I didn't know what Next.js was. Now, I don't know all the syntax for all these things now, but I know what they are. And I know like how they work and when to use them. I didn't know what like static sites were at the time. I mean, I used Python again, very, very limited in college. I didn't know like what Python was good for. I didn't know any of this stuff. Like this idea of just belittling people for fucking going out and learning and then trying things and doing stuff. It's like, bro, they fucking might know more than you. They literally might know more at a high level, at a conceptual level than you do. It's yucky. I don't like it. I don't like the idea that we're not letting people fuck around with stuff, or we're saying that they're not trying. It's kind of weird, you know. It's kind of weird that we complain about the AI when like it was trained off of humans and like we act like humans are perfect, but the AI is not, but it was trained off of humans and it's better and it's way faster. It's all of these problems stem from like personality though. They all stem from like a personal skill, like tied to it's like a vendetta that it's like, I'm the best person that can do this. Like I'm the only person that can do this. It has to be always done by me. I get it. I'm empathetic to it. I just don't think it's a productive mindset to have. So that's my current position. Let me just check on some of these notes here. Appreciate you guys. You guys have been fantastic in the chat here. I really love all the stuff that we've been chatting about here today. Thank you so much. What I'm doing differently after seeing this pattern. Yeah, I kind of talked about some of this stuff here that I got in the notes here. We kind of riffed on a couple things. So yeah, I talked about the partnership stuff. The real bottleneck is value. Yeah, for me, I mean, it's not value and it's not attention for me. I mean, I don't have like a shit ton of attention, but I have like more attention than I need. Like I have things that I could close. I got recurring revenue in the pipeline and stuff like that I just need to. It's not the value. These people know that I'm valuable. They know that I have attention. It's like it's close rate, and it's just again from the stuff that I was talking about. There is, just either being more productized or more specific, or really honestly, it's just, I mean, honestly, if I just had more examples, to show people, and this is just a lesson to you guys, is like, if you have trouble closing people, it's like, just show them shit, even if it's fake, not fake in the sense of like, you didn't do it or you fabricated it. I'm saying like, I'm literally thinking right now, I actually, honest to God, like I had this thought idea this morning. It's like, let's say hypothetically, I wanted to get roofing clients just for fucking, whatever. Like I wanted to get more like, like these clients that have been flying through or whatever. Like, let's say I wanted to get like a roofing client. I think all I would really have to do, I say all, but like, obviously I could put an offer directly in that way or whatever. But even making 5 videos, and this is me, maybe it's different for you, but maybe it's cold outreach for you or something like that. Even just making, like, here's the thing now, you hear this idea of like making a website before you even talk to the business. Like I see this bullshit now where it's like, it is kind of bullshit, but also at the same time, it's like, it is a good sales pitch. If we can build a website really fast in Cloud Code, we just build a really quick, like roofing company business with their branding, their logo, whatever. You go to them and you just say, "Hey, I built this for you." I wouldn't just give it to them for free, maybe, but like like I built this for you. We could tweak it, we could do whatever. It's however the fuck you want to pay for it. I mean, I don't know. What is that? The trouble is like, what is that fucking worth, man? Some people are going to charge $1,000. Some people are going to charge 2,500. Um, that's not really. It's kind of a loss leader. I hate to fucking say this, but those types of websites are almost like a loss leader now. It's like it's a foot in the door because it's easy to do, and you know the information better than they do, and you have more time than they do, and all that sort of stuff. Like that's a real strategy that I might try to implement in a way. But my point is like, even not at that level, even if you can get it a little more at scale, where you're not going directly to them. One of the things that I might try to do now is like, here's what I built for this insert industry or whatever. Make a video about that and then show exactly what that is and be like, hey, if you want something similar for your business, let's talk and hear and then steer them that way. This is not a new fucking concept. It's just something that like with the way that it's changed, the way that the level has changed, the landscape has changed, we have the ability to do it way easier now. So I would actually potentially really recommend something like this where you're just building before and you're taking a little bit of a loss up front, but you're doing it quickly and efficiently. I don't know. I think it's all the same though, bro. Like it's still the same thing as like, oh, look, we have this theme forest theme. I mean, it's way better, but we have this theme forest theme from back in the day. It has a restaurant on it. Do you want a restaurant that looks just like this? Here, I swapped out your logos and everything like that. We can tweak it. It's $3,000. I mean, I just don't know how I don't want this to be the case, but I don't know how this doesn't become a race to the bottom with websites specifically because clients can build these faster. I'm not saying they would, but they actually can. They can perceive it is perceived that they can do it faster, and it also is true. And their friends are going to tell them, their other business owner friends are going to get to them and they're going to say that they can. And regardless if they do or not, it's going to be like, well, Johnny did it by himself or whatever, And it's not like I just don't think it's like other things. I don't think it's like it's going to be bad. You know what I mean? We have a supercomputer, super intelligence now that is doing it. It's not like outside where I had this when we moved into this house, I had this wall and it had in our living room and it had a big you can actually go back in my channel and watch these videos because they're all still on there. We had this thing in the wall. We had a air conditioning unit, really old, didn't work. And we had central use air, so it didn't matter. But like I wanted to take it out. So we busted it out and then like we need to do brickwork to fix this fucking wall. And I'm like, I could hire somebody. And I decided to hire somebody off the side of the road. Not a good idea. There's a sign in plywood. Do not hire bricklayers off the side of the road. That was a terrible experience. I lost money on that. They didn't finish the job. I don't even know if they started the job. I don't know what that happened. But anyway, my point is like I could do that, but and I didn't end up doing it, but like the job that I did wasn't even like it wasn't even close to what a professional could do. These tools in our industry, because of just its technology, its patterns, its ones and zeros, like it's very directionally close to like what most people could do. Like there's no way that the bricks outside on my house are even there's no way that like even the worst bricklayer was gonna probably be fine with that. And if it was, that's going to be a serious problem. They're not going to be a bricklayer for very long. But like the websites that are getting produced by my clients are better than a lot of the shit that I've seen other people make. Okay. Like humans. All right. So I just think it's like, I just think it's going to continue to change. And I just hope that what I would love to see is not denial is what I would love to see. If you want to stay in denial and you hate this, then that's fine. Do that. But I'm not going to be there. I don't think that's the right place for me. I can't be in denial with that. I have to be continuously navigating it to see where things are going because I don't want to be stuck holding the bag in some ways with some of that. Let me see any notes here. I know we got a couple chats that I haven't read. Honestly, wait for this. Yeah. Okay, cool. What are you using to email the form data? Does it produce a PDF as well? What SMTP? Good question. Had a really interesting conversation actually in Modern Builder Society yesterday as well. I swear to God, I'm not trying to just plug it, although it is great. I had a conversation in there about this form situation. Now, I'll riff on this for a second because I do think it's important. I mean, do you really need to see the form? I mean, I could show you kind of some of the output. I'm trying to just think in my mind. Let me just let me see if let me see if I can just bring up like something here. Here's one option. I know you can't see it yet. Hang on. Let me see if I can log out of this to show you the thing here so I don't dox a bunch of emails. And there's that. And let me, I don't know. You can use anything. I mean, the long and short of it is you could use anything. But here's the thing. Okay, again, might not like the opinions here, but I'm gonna give them to you because that's what I do. All right, so here's the deal. Here's what's gonna happen to you. If you build a static website with Astro or whatever, and you go to Claude and you say, hey, Claude, I got this form on my website, like my client did. Oh, I'll tell you the story too. Okay, so my client had this website. He built this website, and then he's like, and I'm like, how are you going to handle the forms, right? Because I knew that he had probably no idea. And he's like, well, Claude told me to use Netlify forms. Good. And I was like, all right, fuck. So he deployed to Netlify, used Netlify forms. And then I came back like a week later. I don't know if I told this story in the last one, but I came back like a week later and like the website wasn't working. I was like, hey, do you know about this? And he's like, yeah, I'm moving to Cloudflare now. And did he tell me what he moved the forms to? Maybe I should ask him. This is so much data that I'm getting. It's so amazing. But anyway, I don't know if he moved to FormSpree or whatever, but the reason I have FormSpree up is because you can use Netlify forms. You can use all these things. Obviously, the reason Netlify has it is because they know that's a big blocker. But here's the deal. If you're talking about like in a Claude coding environment, Astro or whatever, like again, I would say just ask the thing what to do. It'll tell you based on your situation, what you're trying to do, like all your things. I'll tell you my experiences so far. Every single time I've ever asked Claude Code, it's almost like they have a fucking partnership with FormSpree. They don't. It's just a good, simple platform. Every single time it says like FormSpree, or it says maybe there's like FormSpark, or there's some other like couple other ones. It always says that. It always just says like, use something like this. And then I haven't even used it yet. I think in the back end, does this thing give you in the back end, like show you your forms or something, or does it just push them? There's two things you have to worry about with forms, right? There's delivery, like wherever you want the thing to go, like some sort of notification. And then there's like storage, right? It's like, do you care about both of those things? So delivery would be, do you want it to go via email? Obviously, everybody is accustomed to forms going to an email. Sometimes you need that. You don't always need that. And I'll tell you candidly, on Motive 11 and on marksmansky.co, neither of those forms go to an email. I don't get emails from those forms. I get Google Chat messages. Okay. If you don't use Google Chat, it's a free thing with Google, and you just get chat messages, and they just come in there like Slack. It could be Slack. You could do it to Slack. It's so unbelievably easy to set up. You go in there, you just ask it what to do, ask Claude what to do. You go in there, you grab a URL from this, you set up a little channel, you grab a webhook, you give it to Claude Code, and it wires it up. Like all it's doing is just sending a little via webhook. It's just sending that information. And then you get the thing, and you get a little ding on your phone, and then you can interact with it. Now, if you're going to reply via email, obviously, I guess that's somewhat tedious because you don't have an email to just like reply to, but I never handled forms like that generally. I always like, if the form is just going to be a notification and you're not going to reply to the client with the form at the first thing, then whatever, it's useless anyway. But if you want to do that, you can obviously still do that. What I would recommend, or just what I've tried for SMTP, is I've always had SendGrid. They totally, like, the free tier is gone though. Like even if you do like a simple amount of emails, like you don't have a free tier after like 60 days anymore. So SendGrid is one option. I just never went through it because you have to like verify the sender. You have to do all this sort of stuff. I used it through GridPane for the WordPress stuff, and it just did it at the server level. And I really never even configured anything. I could have, but I just never did. So SendGrid's an option. It's like, for me, I think it's like $20 a month. Resend is actually what I just recently used over on when I was quickly developing the Content Forge, which is not the actual name because that's taken, but like if you go to the stuff on my YouTube, is that gonna work? Yeah. If you go to stuff on my channel here, these videos, this video right here, this app, and then there's an accompanying one on the second channel. If you watch these long videos over here, this one right here, this 8-hour video, 9-hour video, that is a full build of like an app, okay? Next.js using Claude Code and Supabase. When you get into this, like you need to send emails, right? With that. So I used Resend. And it's pretty easy. I don't think I'm even paying for this yet. I think there's a generous free tier. So I would honestly potentially go here because this is just simple and easy. There's obviously Postmark, there's all this other stuff, but that's how I'm doing it. Now, second problem, real quick, is that's delivery. I mean, it's the same concept, right? It's just you manually do it. You write the code for it, but you don't write the code. So interesting. Are you using an AI agent? See pricing. What the fuck is all this? Interesting. That's weird. Is that just a joke? I don't know. Anyway, um, anyway, maybe it's. Oh, are you an AI agent? That's interesting. Cool. Okay. Um, whatever. That's funny. The other thing is the storage, right? So listen, everyone's accustomed to this, and I get it with clients to a degree. Everyone's accustomed to getting a form plugin on whatever your thing is, even if you're in like Squarespace or Wix or whatever. Like you would have a form, and then it would get dropped into a database on the back end, and you would have all the stuff back there. Look, um, like yes, but I'm gonna be honest with you. Like I still don't even like that idea. There's no real reason that your form data should stay in your website for a very long time. Don't like let's think about this, right? Maybe I'm not criticizing because I've done that, right? But why is that the right place? It's not the right place. It's categorically not the right place. They shouldn't be in the website unless they're like editing content or adding different things to it. It's not their CRM. God bless you if you're one of the people that like wanted to put everything on WordPress because I've been there. You wanted to tell your clients, oh, we're going to make this your CRM. We're going to make this your fucking email marketing platform. We're going to make this your website. We're going to make this your content SEO engine, your blog, all this stuff. All your forms are going to be on there. God bless you. If that's what you want, then that's what you want. But I have never had success with that at scale with WordPress because there's just too much fucking shit going on in the back end. And there's good things about it being monolithic, but there's also like a lot of other like just I don't want to call it bloat because there's a way to manage it, but like I just never had a good experience with that. So you could try that. But the reason I'm saying that is because that's where I learned the idea of like keeping your submissions and everything like that in there. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think that's really like maybe you keep a log, but like, and maybe I guess you keep it in there just because, but I don't know. I've had to deal with this already. So let me skip to the solution. All I did was I had on a client website, which you can also see, I think it's a different, think it's in this. I think it's in this one right here, right? This one where I turned an Elementor site into a headless Astro build. This one is for a real client site, and I think I handle the forms in here, but if not, this is the case. It's the front end is Astro, the back end is WordPress, and in that one, I just told it's like, hey, listen, we got these forms. Okay, it's important to understand. Please, for the love of God, if you're gonna vibe code stuff or whatever the fuck you want to call it, do not like embed forms. There's no reason to do that. Just build the form, have the thing build the form. It will build it very quickly. It'll build it easily. It'll look good. It'll be on brand. Do not embed anything in there. Okay. Just have it build the form. Forms are HTML. Okay. Like it's not overcomplicate this. The actual front end form, HTML. Back end stuff, deliverability, obviously a little different there. So you're delivering, you're doing whatever. Also, there's no integration like problems because like if you want to go to Bento or Kit or whatever, like you just give it the shit it needs and it just wires it up. So that's that. But then on the storage side, all I did for that website was I just told it just literally wrote like a little custom plugin thing. I think it even wrote it as a snippet or whatever. And then in WordPress, it just says form submissions and it has a little grid and it stores it in the database. So I got pushback on that because that's kind of like reinventing the wheel, but I would honestly say it's just like more of a specific way to handle the problem. Like I don't need a full first of all, I love WS Form. I haven't used Gravity Forms, but I know it's the OG. I haven't used all these other like form tools. I don't fucking want to be dragging modules and elements around in a form. I don't want to do that. I just want to say what it is. And fortunately / unfortunately, those products have been created where like they're the whole thing, right? They're the whole package and they're fantastic. But in this new way of working, I don't want to do that. I want to be the person that's just like speaking and creating I'll just tell it what I want from the form situation, edit it like that, with my voice, and then I get a new form, and then now I have a way to, and then as far as linking it up and everything like that, I also do this. I work the same way. So I know I didn't really show too much in that. I can make more tutorial videos, like stuff on that, but that's the thought process. Is it's largely the same. It's just like you're separating the building part from that other part in the back end part, and you have to do actually less work in both areas. You just have, the only little thing you have to decide on is what you want to use, which is scary. I understand the idea. Like when you ask Claude, like, "Hey, what should I use for forms and shit like that?" It's like, it can be scary, but you just got to try different stuff. I'm gonna be honest with you. A lot of this stuff is like has free tiers. Like nobody even like wants your money until you're making money. You know what I mean? Like if you're sending 50,000 emails a month, like you better be making some fucking money. Like if not, you have a problem, right? You have different problems. So like just try these other things out and see what works. You know? And I would really, really recommend, one thing I didn't say there is like if somebody gets a form, where the fuck should that form go? Let's be honest. Where should the data from that form go? Should it really go into the website and just sit there? Should it really go into their inbox? I would argue they should get notified for sure, but like it should probably like potentially go into like their CRM maybe directly, or it should go into like a little bit of a holding pattern. You could possibly say their inbox, but I don't know. If your business is operating, like there's no reason you should have to go onto your website to go look at those. Maybe for a log, I get that, but yeah. So that's my thoughts on it. But I mean, those are all the ways you can do it. I don't know over here like how this would work. I wonder if there's like a way. I mean, I guess this is again the spiritual predecessor or the spiritual whatever. I don't know how plugins work over here. I haven't looked at any of this shit yet, but I'm wondering if like can you do like literally what happened was a new thing came over here when I was talking in WordPress. A new line came up and it was like form submissions. So I'm wondering if you can like code snippet your way into this situation the same way that I did in WordPress. I mean, this is nuts. The concept here is crazy. I actually kind of want to try this because I haven't tried it yet, but do I have anything in WordPress that I can move? I don't really have much in WordPress. This is a playground anyway, so I don't know. Give the website for free or low, upsell the SEO and geo. Yeah, I mean that's really the play right now. That and the audits, I would say, are like the two biggest thing that we should all do. I actually had a joke thought the other day: artisanal, handcrafted code. Yeah, yeah. I mean, you could try to sell that. I don't. I mean, I don't know. I think that's a option, an option. I hope you guys, like I said, I really appreciate you guys, all your engagement and you guys being here. Means the world. I hope you guys don't think that I'm a doomer or a hype beast. I don't really want to be either one of those things. It's just kind of like I genuinely do believe this though. And I'm very proud of this. I really do feel like I'm one of the only people that are like actually being this transparent with a lot of the stuff that's going on. Cause like there's so many people that like know stuff and they're putting out great content and I follow them. You can see them on my YouTube subscriptions and stuff. But at the same time, it's like, I don't feel like I can resonate wholly with them because I don't feel like they're navigating the same things. So if you're navigating this, hopefully we can navigate that together. Because it's a weird new spot. A lot of similarities obviously to before, but I do think things have changed quite substantially from a, from a magnitude perspective of what we're going to see here in the next few years. Next few months. I mean, Claude Mythos, fucking whatever, all this stuff. Yeah, I think I've pretty much covered everything here. It's an interesting new world here. I got to go figure out how I'm going to sell to these different archetypes, what I'm going to sell to them at different price points, and see what's going on there. I'll use a few of them for other things. Mailgun, SendGrid, free tier. Yeah, free tier. Yeah. Yeah. The Mailgun thing, I've heard a lot of people talk about Mailgun. Yeah. SendGrid is, like I said, the one I use, but Mailgun. Yeah. I mean, whatever, honest to God, like seriously. Yeah. Whatever. If you're going to do that, if you're going to go that route, I would just go, yeah. Well, anything that has a free tier. I don't think SendGrid is timed. Resend has a nice little free tier there. It's pretty modern. Also, the other thing, just real quick on that, I'm not writing the emails either. Like well, I mean, I can edit the emails. I'm saying, but like we're not writing the emails in the platform. The emails are being written in the code, right? And then being sent that way. So that's another cool thing. But yeah. So I'm not fearful of AI. I'm excited. Yep. Right there. Right there. Yep. Nice. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Considering snagging email it from AppSumo, but a little concerned about deliverability. Yeah, I don't know if that's the move, but let me know how it goes. Using FormSpree as a test on another site. Love the quick API snag. Yeah. Again, that's probably why it gets so many good rave reviews, and AI, loves it. All these things literally say it every single time. I mean, there's just a lot of different ways. I will say this is what we'll end on, is like, again, you guys maybe already know this. Sounds like you guys have had this experience, but here's the reality. Okay. Got to make a decision, at least now or over time. You can continue to stay in the realm that you feel comfortable and you love. And if it's working for you, I'm not telling you to fucking abandon ship. Okay. I'm not telling you, like, if you have a great business, it's thriving, don't stop doing whatever the fuck you're doing. Okay. But I feel like a lot of people right now, they're in that weird limbo spot where, like, like me, it wasn't really working and I didn't really like it. And now I'm very enthusiastic about this, and I feel way more empowered and powerful, just like those clients do. But the difference is I have, like you guys have the knowledge of the back end that we can utilize it to actually use these tools better and ultimately provide more value for some cash, right? So that's kind of what I'm thinking, is like, you got to make the decision. It might be a hard one. If you dive into some of this new stuff, you have to realize that you are going outside probably of your comfort zone. And that's actually a good thing realistically, but it is a serious reality, and you're not going to feel like great about it for a little bit, right? It's going to feel weird. You're going to have to figure out these new tools, whatever. Again, as I say, just ask Claude for direction. Don't ask him for the way. Don't ask it for the way. Ask it for a direction or some directions, and then use your brain to kind of like go through some of those things. Because those situations do still matter, right? It's like, you could always, I guess, tell Claude, because I've already done this. You could always tell Claude to refactor the whole thing later, but you don't want to have to do that, right? I mean, you're going to burn tokens, you're going to do all that sort of stuff. So try to be a little bit more in the planning phase, and just go about it from there. But yeah, that was the main point I wanted to make, is that I've made the decision to jump in and realize that, like, I need to become more of an architect and more of an understanding person of these things. I don't need to, personal opinion, people are going to hate it, I don't need to learn the syntax more. I need to learn what the technologies do and what the best technologies for the jobs are. And I'm going to let the robot handle the fucking legwork, and obviously tweak it where needed. But that's what I'm doing. And it's a different world entirely, though, because we're outside of the bubble of wherever we were before, and we have to learn new things. And that's honestly how you grow. So that's it. Enjoy the Nerdy Talks. Found your channel about a month ago. I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, we try to keep it nerdy, somewhat entertaining, hopefully productive and enlightening. But yeah, I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to keep doing the live streams. Well, real quick, I am going to have a child here in the next month. So hopefully, I don't know what my new routine is going to be like. Hopefully, I still am able to do all these things. But right now, we got the live streams every week on this channel. Trying to put out as many videos as possible. Need to put out more. Have the second channel for some of the kind of behind the scenes and just stream of consciousness stuff if you like that. And then obviously Modern Builder Society, we have bi-weekly like roundtable discussions in there and all sorts of stuff. Try to spruce up more resources, and we have a lot of good discussion and stuff. So if you're interested in that, great. If not, free stuff here as always. Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much, and we'll talk to you in the next one. We'll see you.